Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Live with Lil. I say this every week, but I am just so excited about our guests this week. We're watching episode 119.
That's fine. Sorry.
Oh no, it could be mine. Oh, it is mine as well. Oh my god. Oh my god. I say this every week, but I am just so excited. Is that me still? We're watching episode. Oh my god, it is. I had it open on 3 different windows and it was all me. Oh my gosh, I felt like my brain was going to explode. Well, that helped to sort of say how excited I was, I suppose. This week we're watching episode 119 titled The Only Light in the Darkness, directed by Vincent Misiano, written by Monica Owusu-Breen, and on the YouTube podcast today we have Amy Acker, who played Audrey just so beautifully, and also just a bazillion other things. I first watched you in Angel, Amy, and just completely fell in love with you. And then you've just done a bazillion things ever since. Thank you for being here. I can't believe it.
Yes, we're very excited.
So excited. I remember just freaking out when you were on set, and I'm slightly surprised that you're here, because I remember like accosting you and just going, how did you do this? How do you have a career and a family and a really nice and like a smile on your face? Tell me everything. You was just so sweet.
Oh my goodness. I felt so lucky to be there. You guys are all amazing, and that was like the one job my kids ever thought I was cool for doing.
Oh my gosh, yes. We also have Lisandro Novillo, who is a gentleman that I'm so excited to introduce everybody to. Lisandro, thank you for being here. Number 1, your t-shirt's amazing. Number 2, those house plants are impressive.
Well, Kenny Sound gave us these. This is the Sound shirt from like season 2, and my roommates get all the credit for the plants.
Such a great backdrop. It's all about the Zoom backdrop these days, isn't it?
Right.
You're both killing it. We discussed before, but these are my plant edition of dried plants, so just not as impressive. I feel like they're wilting just from the look of your Zoom background, Sandro. What a shame.
I'm sorry.
yeah, blackout. Right, let's press play if you guys have the episode up, because otherwise I'll just chat away and not actually watch this episode.
Oh, but we make it quiet.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, did you press it already? I'm gonna press
No,
mine.
I just got excited.
Oh no, okay. Okay, so I'll do right. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh right. Oh my god, mine's really loud. Oh no. Start. Okay.
And you got the clock too. Amazing.
I know. Yeah. The only slight thing is that my iPad I'm watching it on is on 7% battery, but you know, we'll figure that one out. We'll switch it over. Something has to go slightly not perfect. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're in. I can breathe a sigh of relief now. Lisandro,
Yes.
can you explain what you do, how amazing you are? You started, I knew you as PA on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So can you explain what that is, and then kind of what you do now and what you want to do and how you're connected to this show?
Oh,
Is that quite a big question?
So 7-parter.
Yeah. I'll tell you why I think it's so important to hear from people like you, and just like your experience of the industry is that you are still in there hustling and figuring out what role you want to do now and in the future, and you've just had so much experience, and I feel like I'm putting words in your mouth, but maybe
I'm
words
blushing.
that you would not say. Yeah, this is the thing, because when I was doing my short film that we shot, oh my gosh, a year ago now, you have such a passion for filmmaking also, that it's so infectious to be around someone like that. And you were so supportive of me doing it, and were helping out and asking if I needed anything. And you just have a real knowledge of filmmaking on so many different levels. So basically, I feel like there's a lot of people watching that maybe were in your position 5 years ago when this episode came out. So can you talk a little bit about your journey in film?
Sure. I couldn't get a job in my field after college. I moved back to California. I went to the University of Hawaii, couldn't get a job in clubs and organizations. So I went to help my friend out on a photography set, and then that led to liking it. And then I looked up a short film set on Craigslist and I went to that. And then I just kind of kept going a little bit bigger every other time. It was a little less student filmy, and kind of grew up that way, like finding people that like you and want to help you, and kind of once they step up, they kind of bring you along.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what were you doing on those sets at that point?
Being a helper, like not attached to any department, just being a body. Most of the time it's always snack related on those lower levels.
Which is so important. I mean,
right.
Yeah, right.
It keeps
Amy,
the blood sugar up.
yeah.
Especially when you're not paying people, right? Like snacks are important.
Yeah, Amy's face just lit up. It's all about the snacks.
But being a set PA, like on something like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is pretty focused. It's not as chicken with your head cut off. You have kind of your own set duties. It's kind of more formalized. That was kind of a big shocker. Like you can't touch any other department's things. You have your own duties within the list of PAs. And basically it's like you're helping the ADs with all the pieces that they're trying to bring together in front of camera and in front of sound. So it can be like bringing an actor something so they don't go away from the set, which is helpful. It's unbelievably helpful to keep all the kittens together while, you go get whatever they need for them to the best of your abilities. But yeah, or you're either helping out with the main actors or you're helping out with the background. That's the main division in the set PA world. So you're either I don't know.
And what are the hours like as a PA? Because we've had Katie Carroll and Denise Poor ADs on. So as a PA, you're in the AD department, which is the department that's kind of responsible for making a set run and happen and getting everybody there on time, and like the infrastructure of speaking between the different departments and scheduling and everything. And so as a PA, you're in that department, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're, can you take me through, like, what time would you get to set and what time would you leave set on a typical filming day, say like on an episode like this?
I mean, we did pretty hardy days on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I would say whatever hours we shot plus 2, to leave it vague.
So you're putting in like a 16-hour day
16,
at least.
yeah.
Yeah, we're there an hour before, half hour before the cast arrives to make sure like we're kind of taking attendance, informally taking attendance, making sure like heads of departments are there that need to work on actors. Like if we're not like taking attendance, but if not, someone's not there and we're like, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Your actor's gonna be here, or the actor's missing, or whoever's missing. But we're there to greet the cast, to greet the crew that's coming in. Transportation beats us, obviously, but we're there to say hi to everyone, to help everyone. And then we do the collection of paperwork at the end of the night. So as people are like punching out, they hand that paper to us, and then we go type it in, and then our bosses send it off and send us home.
Yeah. It's just a hustle of a job being a PA, because you must do like 30,000 steps a day, just trying to coordinate all the different departments. And I mean, no job on a film set is easy, but a PA is definitely, you put the hours in for sure.
It's yes. Some days are easier than other days, but like if you can go to work as a set PA and treat it as like you're at Harvard, like you're just watching the best of the best do their jobs.
Yeah.
And I got to watch directors, I got to watch people grow within departments, people cross over departments. So just like absorbing all day long, like this was my film school. I didn't go to film school. So kind of watching and learning for free.
Yeah. So would you recommend that as kind of a gateway into the industry? If you can get some PA work, that's a good way to just kind of see how a film set works and the different departments and things.
I think it's the fastest way to get the most exposure into this industry. So if you want to see what 20 departments do in one shot, and you're like gonna suffer a little bit because it's a little, it's a little tiny show, but the little tiny shows do what the big shows do. We just magnify it tenfold. Instead of having one little camera, we're at like 9 cameras and GoPros and drones, but it's the same basic steps, that the little guys are doing. It's just 10, 20 fold.
Yeah. Amy, what's a typical day for you on set? So for something like this on Shield, when did they tell you about the role? When were they, how was that process? What did they, I guess from the beginning of it? Because Mo, right? Like you and Mo.
Yes. I mean, this was definitely not typical by any means, because I knew everyone already. And so that's such a nice benefit to being a guest actor, because sometimes being a guest actor is just terrifying. You're just walking
so hard. Yeah.
And everyone else is comfortable and happy, and you just want them to like you and not to mess up anything. And I still felt that way here, but it was nice because I knew everyone. And Clark had suggested me for the part and had talked to Joss and Mo and everyone. And so that made it, I felt like, oh, they really want me to come. And I'm so happy to be there.
We were so excited. Wait, so how do you know Clark?
We did Much Ado together.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, and that connection then was probably through Joss.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then you get the call. Did you get the call from Clark, or who called you?
I think I'm having memory loss, but I think so. I think Clark had told me that he was putting it out there and kind of running it up the ranks, and said, I'm dropping hints to everyone, making think it's their idea. So.
It's such a big kind of moment for Coulson, because we've never seen him have any romance apart from kind of like slightly flirty things with Agent May, and then to see his love, that's something that this show was able to do that the movies couldn't do. And it was such a gorgeous, heartfelt, just tragic episode in a way, and you just encapsulate that, because you go, who is it that that's gonna get Coulson's heart? And you're just the perfect choice. It had to be somebody just amazing. And then obviously the cellist to boot. How was that? How do you?
That was definitely interesting. I was living in New York at the time, and so they called and told me that they had gotten me some lessons with a cellist at the New York Symphony, I guess, the New York Philharmonic.
Wow.
And so I was like, great. I went to this girl's house who was brilliant and had been doing this since she was like 3 years old or something.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
So they want me to teach you to play the cello in 4 hours? I guess. But as you know, the more that it went on, I realized like this girl has trained every day, hours and hours of her whole life, and then I'm just gonna butcher this. I can tell you.
How awkward though to just have to sit and, because I grew up playing the clarinet. I don't know if you guys played instruments, but like Zach, you played the saxophone. I feel like
I did.
they're easier to fake. But when it's a bow on string, you got to make contact with that baby.
Well, she could not have been nicer, and she was like, she gave me lots of little tips, and then luckily they did have like a cellist double, so that was my stunt double for the episode who
Yeah,
played.
that's so fun, isn't it? To have that as a double. And then, so your day on set would be, you'd get, so say crew call was 7:30. What
Yeah.
kind of time would you get in? Like, how would your typical day go?
I would guess usually I'd probably, if it was like we were starting at 7:30, probably 5:30, 5:45, you'd get there, you'd have the amazing PA, delicious breakfast and start your day off lovely. Go to hair and makeup. And then at 7:30 rehearsal and start the day.
It's oh, go on, Zach.
Well, I was just going to say there's just a lot of questions coming in for Amy on the chat, and it has to do with kind of, you've done so much and so much kind of in the sci-fi realm. What was your path to just starting? Like where did it like when did it happen? Like, you know, dropped into your consciousness, like this is what I want to do with my life, and then how you got going.
You mean starting in like sci-fi stuff or just starting in general?
Just like starting in general. Yeah. Just, yeah.
Well, I did theater, started doing theater in high school. I feel like I've probably told this story a million times, but I wanted to be a dancer and I ended up having knee surgery and I stopped dancing, and then I kind of found theater and I was very shy and it just didn't seem like the right fit for me. But once I found that I got to play characters, I just fell in love with it. So that sort of started the path of doing it. And then I went to college to SMU and studied theater there. And then I worked at a Shakespeare theater when I graduated, and moved to New York wanting to do plays and all of that. And ended up getting a job, which I don't know why I've just like, my first job was like some pilot that didn't ever go, called Hell House on MTV, but it was supernatural kind of,
Cool.
horror movie. So it's just something that I just have always had like an attraction towards that sort of type of genre.
Yeah, it's so interesting that for both you, Amy, and Lissandro, that you kind of, the film world came when the path you thought you were on was halted for some reason. Like Lissandro, you graduated and there were just no jobs. And then Amy, you wanted to be a dancer and presumably like trained and put a lot of sweat and tears into it. And then your knee gave out. But it's just kind of, when you think like what that moment that you think is potentially the worst moment of your life, then kind of leads you down a path that's very different. Do you still dance, Amy? Do you ever like?
I was probably never going to be a brilliant dancer. I think I loved it more than I was talented.
That's all you need, though. You just need the love for something and the graft. That's it.
I mean, my daughter is actually downstairs. She luckily is the brilliant dancer in the house. I hear her doing ballet. She's got her Zoom on right now.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
But I think you're so right about that. I think that's happened so many times. I just in this business in general, even when like I've had jobs and then like it doesn't go forward or something, and then it just opens up to something that's totally different, and you end up meeting these great people, and it's hard to have that perspective at the moment. But I feel like
it's so hard.
More than any does that all the time.
Totally, and things just come out of nowhere. Like this episode for you, Amy, you've actually just come on screen. You're now, oh my gosh, we're both on screen together. You're running and I'm telling you to, come in the car.
I remember thinking, no one's going to believe I'm a runner.
Oh my gosh, you looked so great running.
I don't know how to run.
Well, I suppose it didn't say you were a great runner as the character description, so it's always a relief, isn't it? I loved that being Simmons, that she was never, somehow after 7 seasons, she was still not great at stunts or any sort of like night gun work. I could still be like, well, I don't know, she doesn't know what she's doing, rather than trying to look good doing it.
I think you look pretty cool.
Oh, I don't know. It's all in the edit. But yeah, we are in this industry where you can get the call tomorrow that says you booked this huge movie, or you don't, or Clark. Yeah, Clark texts you and is like, "Hey, do you want to come and do a little?" And then your next 2 weeks look very different to you planned.
Yeah.
How is that? And then it's the same for you, Lissandro, I'm presuming, right? Or is it a bit more? Is there more stability? Like, is there a lot of work right now? Are you still PAing? What's kind of your...
Right now there's a lot of work. Everything's kind of gearing up, and then with like COVID department, they've been kind of absorbing PA positions and coordinator positions because they just need people that know the industry.
Yeah.
So it's like they can train you on the other stuff, and they just need you to know how the day functions on a film set or a TV set. So there's a lot of work right now, even for PAing on set, not in a COVID position.
That's really interesting. So is there work, say if you had no set experience, do you still think there's more opportunity now on sets than maybe pre-COVID?
Yes, there's enough need. I think a lot of people are getting in right now, just good attitudes, and we can teach you the rest.
Yeah. It's interesting. I got an email this week from somebody saying that she was a health and safety officer, and that she's done a bit of research and figured out that there's spaces. She's very employable in film right now, basically.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I had no idea that would not have been an area I would ever have looked into. And now there are opportunities for her. So it's kind of exciting in that way that, the film sets are up and running, and
we're
figuring out a way. Yeah, adjusting for sure. What you want to write too, right, Lissandro? How have you found that juggling set work and PA work and then writing? Is it, are you able to...
It's always the fight to make time for this thing that you like to do and you want to be good at. But the other thing pays your bills, so you do the other thing to pay the bills, and then you hope to have the headspace for a couple hours to crank out something every night so you can kind of stay constant. But I mean, even I treated any job like school, basically. So reading the sides every day and kind of seeing what was going to happen and how we pull off the words on the page was kind of like a really cool study in writing, because it's like, this is how they're presenting it on paper, and this is how we tried to pull it off as close to the page as possible. So, and then being around writers is a great thing for set PAs. The writers on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Mo, Jed, like they're all so welcoming in anybody that showed any interest outside of their department, but was also, efficient in their department, I guess. But, I grew a lot with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Towards the end, they allowed me to interview for a lot of cool things at Marvel TV, but that didn't happen. We're talking about these other paths that, don't go. But It was wonderful to practice interviewing. Like, I've never interviewed for I want to be a writer, but there's many support staff in that world too. So it's like, it's a hard jump to go from a set PA to a writer support. That's a big jump, but it's considered less of a big jump if you're an office PA to a writer's support, because they're essentially almost in the same building most of the time. So if someone calls in sick, it's easy to like look over and be like, do you want to cover over here? Versus like, they would never pull anyone off set, to come cover in the office. But like kind of letting people know what my interests were, and over time, people ask you, Like,
Yeah.
those are the people who you should kind of prepare your answer for, and not just be giving your answer to everybody, because the people that ask you, sometimes people ask you and they're like, what do you want to do? And those are the ones you should really care to answer. I know a lot of young people in the industry are just like, get somewhere and they're just like, this is what I want to do. And it's like, cool, cool, cool. We're here to do this other thing really fast. You know, like, we're here to make a TV show. Let's do that. And then
Yeah, that's
during
really
lunch, we could talk
interesting
about other
because
stuff.
yeah, it's a lot about timing and about, like you say, having that answer ready, but showing who you are in the role that they're paying you to do first, and nailing that so that then they don't want to lose you and they want to know what your aspirations are. But it's a tough commitment to not want to shout to everybody, hey, I want to do this other thing.
You want to in your heart think that everybody wants to help you, which is great. Not everybody wants to help you, and that doesn't make anybody a bad person. That just means that, you know, the timing that they gave to teaching wasn't this moment, you know, and you're just looking for that person that wants to teach, and they'll let themselves be known. So just like, do your job and keep your ears up for the people that ask you what you want to do in the future, because those are the ones that actually will sit and listen and see if they know somebody that can help you or if they can help you.
Yeah,
and it's
totally.
not about like getting you to the finish line. It's just about getting you that next step, which is
we get so many questions through the chat just about people, I think, that want to work in entertainment but have no idea all of the different departments and where they might actually gravitate to. And I think that, like, the way that you're describing it, it's like, if you can just get your feet wet and you get exposure to all these different departments, it's like you don't really know who you may meet or what you may end up really liking, that then you can pivot into the other channel. And then I'm always amazed. It seems as though, like, the movie business, TV business, it's like one of the last true apprenticeship programs where it's like you really can learn every department from that mentor and sort of matriculate up. You just don't see that in other businesses. It's always fascinating to hear how people sort of figure out where their feet are.
Totally. And that was what was so lovely, Amy, when you were on set, that I felt like you were where I wanted to be, just on so many levels, and you were just so lovely at, because I did not do any of the things that Lisandro had said, which I should have done, which was like, you know, take your time. And as soon as you came on set, I was like, hi, I love you. How do you do this? How do you manage to balance it all and have such an amazing career and be so nice? And and you were so kind in that moment. And you were, you know, just like, oh, just try your best. And you're just very modest.
Like, just breathe, Elizabeth. Just breathe.
Yeah, just breathe. Can somebody, Sandro, can you
did
just
all of that very well. You did not see. I just thought you were a beautiful girl with a lovely accent who was super talented.
Oh my God.
Just wanting to be you right back at you. So.
Thank you. How has it, and this is perhaps an impossible question, Amy, but has it been a challenge to balance a home life and the hours of film and the uncertainty of jobs and, you know, kind of schedules and things?
I mean, we have been lucky in that I'm married to an actor as well. And just over the years, it's kind of worked out that it seems like when one of us is working, the other one has been able to help with the kids. And I mean, now I've got teenagers. My son is 16 and my daughter's 14. So they barely know that
you're like, I live in the basement now.
But yeah, and we have two grandmothers who are amazing and will fly out and have helped us in more than ever. So that's been very lucky, but it is stressful. I mean, this year in particular with COVID and just this stretch of not doing things and not working, and not only as like wanting to make money and pay for college, which is coming up and all of that, but also just, you know, mental health, having to, I love my husband very much. We've been together for 20 years, but being together 24 hours a day,
Oh, totally. And I think I found that too. And I wonder, Lissandro, if your writing has helped during this time, because when your career is so intertwined with how we get our kicks creatively, and then that's taken away, I found at a start kind of, oh wow, I need to find my own way to be creative when somebody isn't saying I need to be on set at 5:30 every day.
I've been once I got over being sad about it, I guess,
Sure.
and, you know, being on unemployment, that I made so little money. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble with the government or something. I made so little money working full-time as a set PA that I made more money on unemployment. So it, like, for me, it was probably the opposite experience of what the world is experiencing. It like really enabled me to focus on writing and kind of use that as therapy and kind of really build a schedule within that. And kind of, it's like I needed to build a schedule for myself because I was going crazy, and that helped.
Give yourself a call time and
yeah, no, totally, because it's that's what we're used to, is like someone says where to be, what you got to wear, it's gonna rain, you know, like they give us all the facts, and then we're just like, you know, dress ourselves and show up and do it.
I forget what the law is, but it's like whatever amount of time you give a task, you will fill that time doing the task. So it's like, if you can minimize the amount of time, you will get it done, and whatever that is. It's like the importance of scheduling and all that stuff. I think it's very true.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm supposed to be in the chat, guys. I'm sorry. I'm
for goodness sake, get concentrating on the chat.
It's philosophical over here.
Amy, we just kind of popped onto you being on stage, at least where I am, because I feel like I might be slightly delayed. I'm in the diner at the moment with Ward and Sky, but then we just were on stage with you, and I think we're about to come back to it. Was that a scary, like, I know you had a cellist double, but was that a scary thing, that just being on stage on your own to a whole like auditorium, or did you feel like, you know, you were where you're meant to be?
I mean, it was, you know, even though I had the double, I still wanted to be able to sell it as much as possible. So I was trying, you know, it was nerve-wracking just because you want to do justice to someone who's supposed to be an amazing cellist, and there's so many people, like the girl who had helped me, who have just like studied this craft forever, and you just, you know, on a TV, if you were doing a movie, you'd have 6 weeks to do this, but you have 4 hours, you don't
Oh, you just came up now, so you had to really, I mean, you make it look so good. I don't remember it not sounding good.
I'm sure that the sounding, there was probably earplugs involved.
No, definitely not. Although I do remember being so excited because me and BJ got to be up in the rafters, and it was so fun climbing up there. I forget what theatre we were in LA, but I trained in theatre and have literally never booked a theatre job in freaking 15 years I've been out. So I remember thinking, I am here in the theatre. You need me to play the cello because I could be in the spotlight. You need me at the rafters.
I think I was the same way. I'm like, oh, it's like we're doing a play.
I know, it's so fun. Amy, what's been your this might be an impossible question, but do you have a favorite role or job or episode that you've done of the different TV shows, or is there something that kind of stands out?
That's always such a hard question. I feel like it changes depending on what's going on. I don't know, but I mean, I feel really lucky just that I don't feel like I've had a bad experience. So there's that. It's all of the bars set very high. They've all been great, but I think Angel, just being on Angel, provide it. I feel like that was led to everything else. And, I've gotten to work with Joss so many times, and just the writers from that who have gone on to other things. And I've gotten to work with, Jane on Once Upon a Time, and Drew and Cabin in the Woods. And it just has continued throughout my life to give such great gifts. So I feel like Angel is kind of the gift that keeps giving.
I'm so glad you said Angel, because that would be mine if I was to answer for you. What was the audition process like for that? Did it feel different?
I mean, it was so long ago, but yes, I think I had just moved out here, and I went to school for theater. And, when you're in college and you're doing plays, you get to play like the 80-year-old grandmother in this play, and the mean old lady witch in this play, and this. And you kind of come out to LA with this sense that I can play any part,
So true, yeah.
Now, 20 years later, I read something, I'll never get that one. There's this idea that you're just excited to play parts. And I went and auditioned for the casting director of Angel, and it was just for a little 3-episode arc. And she brought me back in and to meet with Joss and David Greenwalt. And I had worked at that Shakespeare company, and Joss was in the midst of doing those Shakespeare readings that he was famous for doing in his house all the time. And he said, "Oh, you did this summer?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so that I feel like that kind of put me over the edge a little. Yes. I got lucky with that one. And at the same time that they were casting that, they were thinking of adding another female character just to the main cast of Angel. And so the first day that I was going to be on set, Joss ended up writing a little scene for Alexis and Jay and I, that I think is in like the special things, that was based off of kind of a Midsummer Night's Dream sort of idea. And I did it as I guess it was like my screen test. And then, so I basically started working on the show before I knew I was a regular, but my first part of acting on it was the audition. So.
Wait, and the audition...
So it was like 2 separate auditions. I had an audition for the part, and then Joss wrote another scene that they shot on film with Alexis and Jay that was auditioning to be like, it was like your network test or something.
Oh, got it.
But you didn't know it was an audition, or you did know it was still an audition, or you thought you were just...
I mean, I was brand new. I had only been in LA about a month, and so I was just like, sure, let's, it was definitely better than having to stand the other network tests that I've done, where you're just standing there reading to a room of people and judging
that are like me, like they're in a chat room
with Jay and Alexis, and it was amazing. So
wow, that's so were you too kind of fresh to be nervous, to kind of realize that this was like a crazy thing that was happening?
Well, I definitely was nervous, but they were just all so nice from the beginning, and it was such a fun scene. And it was, it was like you were getting notes, and it really felt like a work session more than an audition, which always is way less scary to me, like once you feel like you're doing the work rather than just presenting something. So
yeah, I found that too with Joss in my audition for S.H.I.E.L.D., that it felt like, I think I came home, Zach, and said to you, like, I just felt like I've had the best acting workshop ever. Yeah. And you just leave feeling like filled up almost, rather than, I've never had an audition like it where I've left going, wow, I really got something from that. Because there's a lot of work that goes into an audition, and it's like preparing for a job interview. There's a lot that goes into it that you know, to get something out of it. I was like, whoa, this is a crazy feeling right now. I feel good after an audition.
It's nice when the ones that you put all the work into actually translates into the bookings. It's like sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you're like, oh my God, I've got, you know, 4 of them. And the one you're like, yeah, I just looked at it twice. It's like,
they
that's
want
the
you,
one
they're
you
desperate
get.
for you.
Yeah,
Every
you're like,
time
how does this happen? I should just not care. Yeah.
Lisandro, you shared with me a little tidbit about Clark that would you mind telling all of our YouTube podcast family?
Kind of as a set PA, the goal is to be around but not be around, you know, like you don't want to be hovery, you don't want to annoy people. Like everyone's a human being, they have the right to hang out and do their thing. But a fun thing that I heard Clark say a couple times, and I think that he probably said it to everybody as the longer arcs of people on the show, as they find out that they're going to be written off or killed off, Clark would always like pull these guys aside who are like pretty sad for the most part. Like they had a fun time on our show, they're leaving now. But Clark would always kind of pull, I've seen it a couple times. I don't know if it's everybody, but I'm assuming it's everybody. And he would kind of say like, getting killed off in Marvel was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like, this is not the end for you. This could not be the end for you in Marvel. Like, he would always kind of do like the chin up on your way out kind of thing. And that's just kind of a testament to what Clark kind of was to everybody, was the dad of the show. And that's kind of a fun moment. I was like, well, is this cool? Is this cool to share or not? But yeah,
I love that.
He was the dad, you know?
Yeah. And to take that moment when it's almost guaranteed he's not going to see them at least every day for a while, to still take that moment and say, you know, I understand what you're going through. And it kind of wonderfully ties up the theme feeling of this. Is like that worst thing that happens or that disappointment can so often lead you through this other door that you didn't even know was there, and that's when the real adventure begins. And I just thought that was so lovely that you kind of heard that, and then you've taken that with you, Lisandro, and that's how you operate also, of like helping me with my short film, or you know, kind of coming on this today. And the same with you, Amy, like sharing your story about your knee. I had not heard that story before, and I feel like it's so relevant to whatever you're going through. It's similar to you, Zach, with your back, and just kind of, you know, a new door opens.
Absolutely. I always say that the doors that close are as important as the ones that open for you. So yeah. Yes.
So the episode is coming to a close. It's been a tense episode, and I'm almost quite glad that I have been watching it, because it makes me sad that Ward is just so bad, and now Sky's in danger. Patton, who is in this episode, sends his love. He was going to come on, but he has a work thing today that's very exciting that cannot be moved. So he sends his love. But now is the time. I'm going to invite a couple people into the chat to ask a question. And I hope my Zoom doesn't kick anybody out. I'm going to invite a couple people in to see the waiting room filled up real fast. Oh, here we go. Hi, Rachel.
Oh my gosh, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Can you see me?
No, we can't see you yet.
Oh, okay. Well, it says my video's on. Sorry, I'll just
Do you have a sticker over your camera?
No, I don't. It says my video's on.
Oh, well, don't worry. We can still hear you.
Yeah,
you want to just speak your question?
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I just can't believe that this is happening right now. Like, I'm just right at the end of watching season 5 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for the first time.
Oh my gosh, season 5. That's amazing. That's a real crazy ending.
Yeah, I think the next episode is episode 20 that I'm watching.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, you've got a rough ride. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. But have some tissues near you. That's traumatic.
Yeah.
Do you have a question?
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I just didn't expect this to happen. So like my mind is just kind of like blank right now.
Oh my gosh, don't worry. I tell you what, I'll invite somebody else in and you think if you have a question, and if not, don't worry, just hang out. I wish we could see you, Rachel.
Yeah, I'll try and figure that out. Yeah.
Hi, Hannah.
Oh my god. Can you see me?
No, what's
Oh
happening
no.
with Zooms today? Oh,
No.
There she is. Hi.
Oh my god.
hi.
I'm sorry, I didn't expect to be here either.
Oh my gosh. Well, do you
I
have
have
a
a
question or do you want to
question.
just hang out?
I do have a question. I have a question
Okay.
for Amy. So I've seen you on The Gifted. I really liked you there. But you're like such like a talented actor, and like, why did they bring you in for this small part? Like,
Yes, we need more.
just, like I wished it to be like a bigger part, is what I mean. Like,
Oh,
were there plans for it to be bigger?
we did try to make it work at other times to get back, and there was a couple of times when I thought I was going to get to come back, and I'm dying to know what the storyline was. I'm like, they must have had something in mind that sounded so great, but I think it was hard because I was working on The Gifted and on Person of Interest, and it just never quite timed out schedule wise. But
Because we like heard about you in Avengers, they like mentioned the cellist as like Coulson's girl, so I thought you'd come back.
I was hoping to get to live happily ever after with Coulson.
No, like, at the end, literally,
In
it's
my
like season
mind, I had this
7.
great idea that when I got blasted back, I got some sort of superpower of my own, and then he had to like kill me.
That would be so fun, and you could be a main character.
Yes, well, look, Marvel are doing all these shows on Disney Plus now.
Never know.
Let's just put it out there.
There is one called Inhumans.
No, yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for inviting me in. Oh my god, this is
Oh,
everything.
thank you so much, Hannah. You're really welcome. Rachel, do you have a question, or are you just a guest at our wonderful party?
No, I'm here. I was just wondering, what was your favorite scene to create? Like out of all
well,
the
where are
7
you? You're season 5, right?
Yeah.
I think season 5. God, all I can think about is the finale of season 5, which I don't want to say was my favorite scene, but I think it's one that really stuck in my memory. The last scene that we filmed was the last scene of that episode, and we thought that was all we were doing as a show. We were all pretty convinced that the show would be finished after that. So we thought that was the last scene we would ever do. And little did we know we'd have a lot of crazy episodes after that. So I don't know if favorite's the right word, but certainly like significant. What about you, Lissandra? Do you have a scene that kind of sticks in your mind from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Apart from Amy playing the cello like an absolute pro after 4 hours training.
It was amazing. I do have to say, you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
I just remember like having fun with the cast and like my faves: Henry, Natalia, Elizabeth, Amy.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the in-between bits, huh?
Well, I worked out second season a bunch. Sorry, not second season. Second unit a bunch. So it was like kind of cool to try to follow the storylines when it was just the action parts that we were doing of the work. I was like,
Yeah.
why are these people fighting each other right now? We were like friends the last time I worked. So it was kind of cool to play that game too.
Yeah, totally. Every scene's a favorite scene. Zach, do you have a favorite scene?
I was only in one scene that didn't make it on air, so that would be my favorite
Oh,
scene.
what am I
guess.
saying? That's my favorite scene. Wow. Yeah, Amy Zach played Simmons's one night stand at college. Yeah, it was pretty great.
It didn't make
was
it.
this on camera or just you just practiced it out?
Yeah, exactly. It was an audition scene, is what it was.
Yeah. It got cut. Don't know why. Thank you so much for your question, Hannah and Rachel. Thank you, Lissandra and Amy, for being here. It's just, they just really mean so much to Zach and I. So thank you for being here.
It really does.
Thank you for doing this. I watch these every week and they always make me so happy.
Oh, I'm awesome. So glad. Oh, Hannah, we need you on every week.
Please, let me in.
So this is the part that I invite the waiting room in, which is full, and we just wait for a couple minutes and say goodbye. So this is it gets kind of chaotic and a bit crazy. So I'll say goodbye and thank you now. And wishing
so fun.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh my God.
One day we'll do a watch along of Angel, and I'll make you come on every week. Yeah, exactly. We'll all be there. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Zach, as always.
Thank you.
Here everybody comes.
Oh my God.
Hi, everyone.
Not yet.
Hi.
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 Lil.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey Lil, hey Lissandro, hey Zach, hey Amy.
Hi
everybody. We watched Dollhouse back in November. It was fantastic. Happy Sunday. Hope you have a good week this week. For doing this every week.
Skills.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hello.
It's Richard. What's up, brother?
Thank you for stopping by. Sandro, excellent.
Question at some point.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi Zach.
Hey.